Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive with us. Today we're tackling a topic that's been generating a lot of buzz lately. It's agentic AI. Now, it seems like AI is everywhere these days, but agentic AI it's kind of different, and we're going to find out why.
Yeah.
So to help us break it all down, we've got some excerpts from this blog post I found called Discovering Agentic AI, how it sets a new standard in artificial intelligence. And it really digs into what it is, how it works, and what makes it different from other types of AI, like the generative AI that we hear so much about.
Right.
So let's dive in. What exactly is this agentic AI everyone's talking about?
Well, I think the key here is really in the name agentic. If you think about what an agent does, they act on behalf of someone or something, right?
Yeah.
So agentic AI takes that idea and kind of applies it to the world of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
These systems aren't just passively processing information like we've seen in the past. They're designed to independently pursue goals. It's a real shift from the traditional task-based AI.
So it's not just about following instructions.
Yeah.
It's more about understanding the goal and then figuring out how to achieve it on its own.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so powerful. The source material that we're looking at today highlights a few key traits that set agentic AI apart.
Okay, let's hear it.
So first we have autonomy. Agentic AI systems can operate without constant human supervision. They're making decisions, taking actions to achieve their objectives.
Okay, autonomy makes sense if it's going to be working towards those goals on its own.
Yeah.
But what about the decision-making process? How does it actually learn and adapt?
That's a great question. The source specifically mentions natural language processing, which is NLP,
Right.
and reinforcement learning as, really key players here. NLP allows the AI to understand and process human language, which is huge.
It's like bridging the gap between humans and machines, basically.
Exactly. And with reinforcement learning, the system learns through trial and error. It gets feedback on its actions, and then it adjusts its approach over time.
So it's like learning by doing, just like we do, but at like warp speed.
Exactly. And that leads us to the third crucial trait that the source emphasizes: adaptability.
Okay, I like it.
Agentic AI systems can adjust to new information and even entirely new environments, which makes them incredibly robust and versatile.
So that's one of the things that makes it so different from, say, generative AI,
Right.
which is more about creating content based on what it's been trained on.
Exactly.
So we've got a pretty good handle on what makes agentic AI unique. But I'm curious, where does it fit into the bigger picture of artificial intelligence? Because the source mentions all these other AI methodologies.
Right. AI is definitely a broad field.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that AI isn't just a single thing. It's an umbrella term for a whole bunch of different approaches.
Like the family of AI.
Exactly. So you have your traditional AI, which relies on pre-programmed rules. You have generative AI, which excels at creating content.
Yeah.
And then you have this more autonomous, goal-oriented approach with agentic AI. And just to provide a little more context, the source mentions other methodologies like supervised and unsupervised learning, where the AI learns from labeled or unlabeled data, respectively. And then there's deep learning, which uses complex neural networks that are inspired by the human brain.
Wow, it sounds like there's a whole family of AI approaches out there.
There really is.
But the key takeaway here is that agentic AI stands out with its autonomy and its ability to manage those complex workflows independently.
Absolutely. It's that ability to adapt and make decisions in these complex and often unpredictable environments that makes agentic AI so exciting and potentially transformative for so many different industries.
And speaking of transformative, this is where I get really intrigued.
Yeah.
The source dives into some real-world applications of agentic AI, and they're pretty mind-blowing.
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
One of the most compelling examples is autonomous vehicles. I mean, think about all the split-second decisions that a self-driving car has to make, navigating roads, responding to traffic pedestrians, all sorts of unforeseen situations.
Yeah. It seems like those are exactly the kind of dynamic environments where agentic AI would really shine, because you need that adaptability. It's not just following a set path. It's constantly analyzing and responding to the surroundings.
Exactly. And, another example the source highlights is IT support systems.
Yeah.
Imagine a system that not only responds to user requests, but can actually resolve technical issues, manage entire workflows, all without any human intervention.
Oh, man, what business wouldn't want that kind of efficiency and automation?
Oh, right.
And the source mentions it doesn't stop there. There are potential applications in robotics workflow management, even healthcare and financial risk management.
The potential is huge. The applications are vast and still emerging.
Yeah, it's really incredible. I think what struck me the most is the idea of agentic AI not just automating tasks, but actually solving problems.
Yes.
Like you mentioned, those IT support systems. It's not just about responding to a request. It's about understanding the issue, analyzing the situation and figuring out a solution.
It's that problem-solving element that really sets it apart. It's not simply following a script, it's thinking for itself, making judgments, and taking action.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff. But before we get too carried away with all the possibilities, I think it's worth asking, when does it actually make sense to use agentic AI? It seems like a powerful tool, but it's probably not the right solution for every situation.
You're absolutely right. And the source does touch on that. It emphasizes that choosing the right AI solution really depends on your specific needs and constraints. So it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Right. If you're dealing with a really complex dynamic environment where adaptability is key, then agentic AI could be a game changer.
Absolutely. The source gives some good examples. HR management, service desk, automation, security systems, all situations that require constant adjustment and decision-making.
Right. And if you're more focused on content creation or personalization, then generative AI might be a better fit.
Exactly. It's all about choosing the right tool for the job.
Speaking of choosing the right tool, I did appreciate that the source took the time to clarify some of the terminology in the AI world.
Yeah.
They mentioned AI agents and how those are different from agentic AI. It's easy to get those mixed up.
It is, and it's an important distinction. So an AI agent is more task-oriented, responding to specific inputs and carrying out predefined actions. It's like a helpful assistant following instructions. Agentic AI, on the other hand, operates with a much higher level of autonomy.
So an AI agent would be more like a chatbot responding to questions based on its programming.
Exactly.
Whereas agentic AI is more like a self-driving car making decisions on its own to reach a destination.
A perfect analogy.
So it sounds like we've covered a lot of ground here. We defined agentic AI, we explored its key traits, compared it to other AI methodologies, and we even peeked into some of its real-world applications. Before we move on to part 2, what's the one key takeaway you think our listeners should remember from this part of our deep dive?
I think the main takeaway here is that agentic AI represents a real paradigm shift in how we think about artificial intelligence. It's not just about automating tasks. It's about creating systems that can truly think for themselves, adapt to complex situations, and solve problems in a way that we really haven't seen before.
It definitely seems like we're just scratching the surface of what agentic AI can do.
Oh, absolutely.
And that makes me even more curious to explore what the future holds for this technology.
Me too.
So why don't we take a quick break and we'll come back to delve into the potential benefits and challenges of agentic AI and explore some real-world case studies in more detail. Stay tuned.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive into agentic AI.
It's great to be back. In part 1, we really got into like the nuts and bolts of, what agentic AI is, how it works, and what makes it different from other types of AI.
Yeah, we laid a strong foundation, exploring those key characteristics like autonomy, decision-making capabilities, and adaptability.
And we even touched on some of those like mind-blowing real-world applications like self-driving cars and those super smart IT support systems.
Right. Now, in part 2, I think it's time to kind of shift gears a little bit and explore the potential benefits and challenges that come with this really powerful technology.
Okay, so let's talk benefits.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways that agentic AI could really make a positive impact?
Well, one of the most obvious benefits is increased efficiency. Imagine systems that can handle complex tasks and workflows without needing constant human intervention.
Yeah, that would free up human workers to focus on more creative, strategic tasks.
Exactly. And not only would it free up time, but it could also dramatically reduce errors.
Because machines are generally better at following those precise instructions and handling repetitive tasks without getting bored or distracted.
Exactly. And with agentic AI, we're not just talking about simple automation. These systems can learn and adapt, which means they can continuously improve their performance over time.
So efficiency, accuracy, continuous improvement. Sounds pretty good to me. What else?
Well, agentic AI could also open up possibilities for innovation that we haven't even imagined yet. Think about fields like scientific research or drug discovery.
So agentic AI systems could analyze massive data sets and identify patterns that human researchers might miss.
Exactly. And that could lead to breakthroughs in medicine materials, science, you name it.
Okay, I'm convinced about the potential benefits. But let's be realistic. No technology is perfect. What are some of the challenges that come with agentic AI?
Yeah, you're right. It's important to be aware of the potential downsides. One of the biggest challenges is ensuring that these systems are aligned with human goals.
Because if they're making decisions on their own, we need to be sure that those decisions are beneficial to society as a whole.
Absolutely. And as these systems become more sophisticated, it becomes even more important to address questions of responsibility and accountability.
Like if an agentic AI system makes a mistake, who's to blame? The developer,
Right.
the user, the system itself. It's tricky.
It really is. Those are tough questions, and there's no easy answer. Another challenge is the potential for bias. Just like any AI system, agentic AI can be influenced by the data it's trained on.
So if the training data contains biases, the system could end up perpetuating those biases in its decision-making.
Exactly, and that could have serious consequences, especially in areas like hiring loan applications or even criminal justice.
It sounds like we'll need a lot of transparency with agentic AI. We need to be able to understand how these systems are making decisions and what data they're using.
You're absolutely right, and that ties into another challenge, control. How do we ensure that we can control these systems, especially as they become more autonomous?
Right. It's one thing to create autonomous systems, but what happens if things go wrong? How do we make sure we can step in and, take control?
Exactly. So while agentic AI holds incredible promise, it's crucial that we develop and deploy it responsibly, addressing these challenges head on.
Okay, so we've got the benefits, we've got the challenges. I think it would really help our listeners to hear about some real-world examples of agentic AI in action. Like really see how this is playing out.
Yeah, you're right. Concrete examples can really help bring this technology to life. And there are already some fascinating case studies out there.
Like what? Give us the goods.
Well, one example that's gaining a lot of attention is in the field of healthcare. Researchers are developing agentic AI systems that can assist doctors in diagnosing and treating patients.
So these systems are actually helping to make medical decisions.
In a way, yes. They can analyze patient data, medical images, research papers, and use that information to suggest potential diagnoses and treatment options.
That's amazing. It seems like it would be incredibly valuable in, complex cases or situations where doctors need to access a vast amount of information quickly.
Exactly. And it's not just about diagnosis and treatment. Agentic AI is also being used to streamline administrative tasks in hospitals, manage patient flow, and even personalize treatment plans.
So agentic AI could potentially make healthcare more efficient, more effective, and more patient-centered.
Absolutely. And it's not just limited to healthcare. We're also seeing exciting applications in fields like finance and manufacturing.
What about finance? I could imagine agentic AI being used for things like fraud detection.
You're exactly right. Agentic AI systems are being deployed to analyze transactions, identify suspicious patterns, and flag potential fraud in real time.
That could save everyone a lot of money and hassle.
It certainly could. And in manufacturing, agentic AI is being used to optimize production processes, improve quality control, and even design new products.
So we're seeing agentic AI being used to analyze data, make decisions, even control physical systems in the real world. It really is incredible.
It is. And as the technology continues to advance, we can expect to see even more creative and impactful applications emerge.
I'm excited to see what the future holds. Yeah. But as we think about those future possibilities,
Good point. Yeah, it's crucial that we don't get so caught up in the excitement that we forget about the potential risks.
we need to be having conversations about how to develop and deploy agentic AI responsibly, ensuring that it benefits society as a whole.
Couldn't agree more. It's a shared responsibility that involves researchers, developers, policymakers, and even the general public.
So what are some of the key things that we need to be thinking about as we move forward with this technology? Where do we even begin?
Well, I think transparency is paramount.
Yeah.
We need to be able to understand how these systems are making decisions, what data they're using. We can't just treat it like a black box.
So it's not enough to just trust that the AI knows what it's doing. We need to be able to look under the hood, so to speak.
Exactly. And then there's the issue of control. How do we ensure that we can intervene if an agentic AI system starts behaving in a way that's harmful or unexpected?
Because as much as we might want to create truly autonomous systems, there's always the possibility that things could go wrong.
Right. And then there are the broader societal implications to consider. How will agentic AI impact the job market? Will it exacerbate existing inequalities? These are questions we need to be asking ourselves.
These are big, complex questions, and it seems like there are no easy answers.
But they're questions that we need to be asking ourselves now as this technology is still in its early stages of development.
Because once these systems are out in the world, it's going to be much harder to course correct if we haven't thought through the potential consequences.
Absolutely. So while we embrace the incredible potential of agentic AI, let's do so with a healthy dose of caution and a commitment to responsible innovation.
Responsible innovation. I love that. That should be our guiding principle as we navigate this uncharted territory.
Well, I said. And I think that's a great place to wrap up part 2 of our deep dive.
Join us for part 3, where we'll delve into some exciting predictions for the future of agentic AI and explore what it could mean for you and the world around you.
Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the world of agentic AI.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It really has. We started by breaking down what agentic AI is, how it works, how it compares to other types of AI.
Yeah, we explored those potential benefits and challenges, highlighting that need for responsible development.
And we even got a glimpse into some real-world examples of agentic AI in action, from healthcare to finance to manufacturing.
And now, for this final part of our journey, I think it's time to look ahead and explore what the future might hold for this, game-changing technology.
I love a good glimpse into the future.
Yeah.
So what trends and advancements might we see in the world of agentic AI in the coming years?
Well, one thing is for sure, the capabilities of these agentic AI systems, they're only going to become more sophisticated, more powerful.
So we can expect even more autonomous systems, even more adaptable, even better at making those really complex decisions.
Exactly. And as those capabilities advance, we'll likely see agentic AI being applied in even more domains.
You mean beyond what we've already talked about, like healthcare, finance, and manufacturing?
Exactly. I think we'll see agentic AI playing a significant role in areas like education, transportation, even entertainment.
Okay, paint me a picture. What might agentic AI in education look like?
Well, imagine personalized learning experiences that are tailored to each student's individual needs and learning styles.
Huh?
You could have agentic AI tutors that adapt their teaching methods, provide real-time feedback, and even design customized learning paths.
That would be a game changer for students who struggle in traditional classrooms.
It really could. And in transportation, we might see agentic AI systems managing entire traffic networks, optimizing routes, reducing congestion, improving safety.
So those self-driving cars we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
they'd be part of like a much larger interconnected transportation ecosystem.
Exactly. And in entertainment, agentic AI could be used to create interactive stories, design video games that adapt to the player's choices, even compose personalized music.
It's mind-boggling to think about all the possibilities.
Yeah.
But with all this potential comes a responsibility to guide the development of this technology in a way that benefits everyone.
Absolutely.
So transparency, control, accountability, those are all going to be key factors as this technology evolves.
And involving the public in these conversations is going to be critical too. It can't just be experts in a room making all the decisions.
Right, because ultimately it's society as a whole that will be impacted by the rise of agentic AI.
Exactly. So as we kind of move into this future filled with autonomous systems, let's do so with both excitement and a sense of responsibility.
Well said. What does all of this mean for our listeners? What's the one key takeaway from our deep dive into agentic AI?
I think the biggest takeaway is that agentic AI has this immense potential to transform our world in really profound ways, both positive and potentially challenging.
It's a technological advancement, but it's also a societal one.
Exactly. And just like with any powerful tool, it's up to us to use it wisely.
To ensure that it's a force for good in the world.
That's the challenge and the opportunity that's before us.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into agentic AI. I hope you've come away with a better understanding of this fascinating technology, its capabilities, and its implications for the future.
It's been a great conversation.
It has. And, we hope you'll continue to learn and engage in the ongoing conversation about agentic AI and its role in shaping our world. Thanks for joining us.